first question we're going to take a look at is 108 divided by 6. So the first thing we're thinking is, can 6 fit inside of 1? And it cannot. It's not big enough. So now we're looking at this chunk. Can 6 fit inside of 10? And it can. So how many times can 6 fit inside of 10? That's right, 1 time. So we put our 1 on top, and now we do our multiply step. So we've done our divide. How many times does this fit into that? Our multiply steps come next. We do 6 times 1, which would get us 6. All right, after our multiply step, we subtract. So now we're gonna take our 10 minus our 6. And I know that I can't take 6 away from 0, so I've gotta come over here and I've gotta borrow. So my 1's gonna become a 0, and my 0 is gonna become a 10. So now I got 10 minus 6, which would get us 4. So now we stop and think, can 6 fit inside of 4? And it cannot. So we gotta bring down our 8. Now we ask again, can 6 fit inside of 48? And it can. So how many times can 6 fit inside of 48? That's right, 8 times. So we put our 8 on top, and now we do our multiply step. 6 times 8, and we just said that would be 48. Now after our multiply step, we go ahead and do our subtraction step. So now we're looking at 48 minus 48. So 8 minus 8, that would get me 0, and 4 minus 4, that would get me 0. So now we think, can I put 6 inside of 0? And that doesn't work. But there's nothing else to bring down. So we have 18 with no remainder as our answer to number 2 in our questions tonight. All right, number 3, let's take a look at 84 divided by 6. All right, so first thing we think is, can 6 fit inside of 8? And it can. How many times can we fit 6 inside of 8? That's right, 1 time. So we put our 1 on top, and after we've done our division step, our next is to our multiply step. So we think 6 times 1. What would 6 times 1 get us? Yep, it would get us 6. So we put our 6 on bottom. So now we've done our division step, our multiply step, which has got us our 6 right here. Now we do our subtraction step. So we're looking at 8 minus 6. What would 8 minus 6 get us? Yep, 2 is correct. All right, now we think, can 6 fit inside of 2? And we know that it can't. That's too small. But there's something that we can bring down. What do we need to bring down? That's exactly right. We bring down that 4. Good job. Now we're looking at how many times can 6 go inside of 24. So if we do our skip counting up, 6, 12, 18, 24. How many times can 6 fit inside of 24? 4. That's exactly right. So we put our 4 on top. That's our division step. How many times can 6 fit into 24? Our next step is multiplication. 6 times 4. What would 6 times 4 get us? 24. That's exactly correct. So now we're going to go ahead and subtract 24 from 24. 4 minus 4, that would get us 0. 2 minus 2, that would get us 0. And then we check, can 6 fit inside of 0? No, it can't. And then we think, is there anything else that we can bring down? You are correct, there's not. So we are done. 14 is our answer to number 3. All right, let's go ahead and check number 4. 184 divided by 8. All right, first thing we're checking, can 8 fit inside of 1? Nope, you're right, it's too small. So now I have to look at this chunk all together. Can 8 fit inside of 18? Yep. How many times can it fit inside of 18? So if we skip count, we go 8, 16, 24. But 3 would be too much because we want to get as close to 18 as possible, but still be smaller. So we'd have to put 2 up here because if we did 3, we'd get 24 and that's too big. All right, now that we've done our divide step, how many times can this fit inside of here? Now we do our multiply step. What would 8 times 2 get us? That's right, 16. So we put our 16 down here. And after we've done our multiply step, now we do our subtraction. So if I look at 8 minus 6, I would get what? That's correct, I would get 2. And then 1 minus 1, that would get me 0. Can 8 fit inside of 2? That's right, it can. But what should we do next? Go take a second. We can't put 8 inside of 2, but we can do something. What are we able to do? That's right, bring down that 4. So now we're looking at how many times can 8 fit inside of 24. So thinking with our skip counting, 8, 16, 24, it could go in there how many times? That's right, 3 is correct. So we've done our division step. How many times can 8 fit inside of 24? That's why we put our 3 up there. Now we're doing a multiplication step, 8 times 3. What would 8 times 3 get us? That's right, 24. And now after we've done our division step, our multiplication step, now we do our subtraction. So we're gonna go ahead and take 4 minus 4, that would get us 0, and 2 minus 2, that would get us 0. And now we think, it's okay, no big deal. Now we think, can 8 fit inside of 0? And no, it can't. And there's nothing left to bring down, so we are done with 23. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at number 5, 60 divided by 4. Can 4 fit inside of 6? That is correct. How many times can I fit it in there? I agree, just one time. So I'm gonna put my 1 on top, that's my division step. How many times can 4 fit inside of 6? Now my next step is multiplication. 4 times 1 would get me what? I agree, it'd get me 4. So we've done our division step, our multiplication step, now we're doing our subtraction step. So now I'm thinking 6 minus 4, and that would get me 2. Can 4 fit inside of 2? I agree, it doesn't work. But what can we do? My 4 can't fit inside of 2, but there's something else that we can do. I agree, we bring down that 0. Nice job. So now I'm looking at how many times can 4 fit inside of 20. So if we skip count, we go 4, 8, 12, 16, and 20. So it could fit in there 5 times. So our 5 goes on top, and now we do that multiplication step. Because we always do division first. How many times can this fit inside of here? That's how we get that number on top. Now we're doing multiplication. 4 times 5, and that would give us 20. I agree. And now we do our subtraction. 0 minus 0, that would get us 0. 2 minus 2, that would also get us 0. So now we're thinking, can 4 fit inside of 0? And we know it can't. Is there anything else that I can bring down? I agree, there's not. So we're done at 15. That is our answer. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at number 6. 144 divided by 6. Can 6 fit inside of 1? No, it can't fit. So now we're looking at our next chunk. Can 6 fit inside of 14? Yes. How many times can we fit 6 inside of 14? I agree with 2. So I'm going to put my 2 on top. So that's our division step. How many times can it fit? Our next step is to multiply. So 6 times 2 would get us what? That's right, it'd get us 12. So now we're going to subtract. So we do our division step first. How many times does it fit? Our multiplication step second, 6 times 2. And now we do our subtraction step, 14 minus 12. So looking at 4 minus 2, that'd get us 2. And 1 minus 1, that would get us 0. Can 6 fit inside of 2? I agree, it can. So what should we do next? Nice job. I would bring down that 4 as well. So now we're looking at how many times can 6 fit inside of 24. So we got 6, 12, 18, 24. It could fit in there how many times? That's exactly right. So that's our division step. How many times does it fit? We put that number on top. Now we do our multiplication step. 6 times 4, that would get us 24. And then we do our subtraction step. So 4 minus 4, that would get us 0. 2 minus 2, that would get us 0 as well. And can 6 fit inside of 0? No. Is there anything that we're able to bring down? Anything left for us? I agree, there's not. So our answer is going to be 24. All right, I believe our last question, 252 divided by 9. All right, so starting out the same again, we always start with that division step. Can 9 fit inside of 2? And I agree, it doesn't work. So now we're looking at, can 9 fit inside of 25? Which you can. How many times? Let's think about it. 9, 18, 27. So that doesn't work. It's too high. So we'd have to go twice. So we're going to put our 2 on top, because 3 would be too big. So now we've done our division step. How many times does this fit inside of this? Now we can go ahead and do our multiplication step. So now I'm looking at 9 times 2. What would 9 times 2 get us? I agree, it gets us 18. So we've done our division step. How many times does it fit? We've done our multiplication step. Now what's next? So we do division first, multiplication, and then there is subtraction. That's exactly right. So looking at it, can I take 8 away from 5? Well, it doesn't work, right? So I gotta do a little bit of borrow. So I'm gonna scratch off my 2, and I'm gonna borrow a 10 from my 2. So my 2 is gonna become a 1, and my 5 is gonna become a 15, because I stole 10 out of that 20. So now I'm looking at 15 minus 8. Well, I could subtract here because I also count up. So think about 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. It would get me 7. And now I got 1 minus 1. That would get me 0. So can 9 fit inside of 7? I agree, it's not going to work. So what can we do, though? That's exactly right. We can bring down that 2. So now we're looking at 9 going into 72. So how many times could we have 9 fit inside of 72? That's right, 8 times. And 2 minus 2, that would get us 0. 7 minus 7, that would get us 0. So we're thinking, can 9 fit inside of 0? And no, it can't. And is there anything left to bring down? I agree there's not. So that gets us our answer at 28. Thank you for doing your homework. I appreciate you. See you guys tomorrow.